Hey everyone, it's Jyoti Reiki, and I just finished speaking to Justin Barbera, a Republican grassroots candidate running for governor here in New Jersey, about some of his perspectives and priorities. Take a listen. All right, so thank you so much for joining me. I'm joined by Justin Barbera, a Republican running for governor here in New Jersey. And Justin, for some voters here in the state who maybe don't know who you are, why don't you start off with telling us a little bit about yourself and what your priorities are?
I'm a grassroots candidate. It's first time in New Jersey history that we've had a candidate make it to the ballot with no funding. So I'm the regular every do, and I want to make sure that we have everything working for us once again in New Jersey. It's been a long time, but I'm happy to represent you.
Great. So tell me a little bit about your priorities as you're running for governor.
Education is the top of my list. We need to make sure we're educating our children and our population properly. That hasn't been done lately, and our children are seem to be misguided. We need the fundamentals brought back into education. We are spending the most in the world, so we should be getting much better results when it comes to our education. Important. And gun rights.
Okay, great. So as you know, this video is going to be shared with the larger AAPI community. So I want to ask you, how have you prioritized some of the issues that are facing Asian Americans here in New Jersey?
Well, New Jersey's the melting pot of the nation. It's important with my race that I didn't throw any stones at the other candidates. We need to be more inclusive when it comes to our politics, but also in everyday life, we need to be inclusive. We don't need to divide because we have so many different cultures right here in New Jersey, and that's why New Jersey's the forefront of the nation. We lead the way in everything here in New Jersey because our diverse population.
Sure, thank you. And what do you think some of the issues are facing Asian Americans here in New Jersey?
Well, I would imagine, they're a minority populace, so um, that comes with its own um, setbacks. I'm an Italian American, and I'm an American number one, and that's what the focus needs to be. Standing up as patriots. If you're an American citizen, a New Jersey resident, it's most important that we take care of our residents first instead of the immigrant. I'm with Donald Trump on supporting ICE and removing illegal immigrants and immigrants that cross the border. Um, and they're taking a lot to support them. They need to be removed from our populace.
Okay, you were breaking up a little bit, but I did hear a little bit of what you were saying about immigration, and that is one of the top issues to voters here across the state. So I do want to get a little bit more about your take on immigration. Nationally, you know that at least 1.7 Asian Americans are undocumented. And so I'm interested in knowing if you support codifying the New Jersey Immigrant Trust Directive.
Not familiar with that directive. Can you give me more details on it?
Sure. So what that would do is it would make sure that residents can seek public services without being scared that they would be deported.
I see. Well, I'm going to stick with the president on the actions he's taking to remove residents that are undocumented. We need to make sure our population consists of documented patriots.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on the opening of the detention facility in Newark? You may have seen that they do not have the proper permits. However, reports came out late last night that they have started housing migrants there. So that's Delaney Hall in Newark.
Whether it be the county or the state, we need to make sure they're being properly and humanely detained before they're removed from the nation.
Okay, thank you. You talked a little bit about education, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about some of the priorities for AAPI New Jersey. Under the Murphy administration, funding and a mandate has been put in place for curriculum to teach Asian American stories and make that a part of the curriculum here in New Jersey. And that's contributions from Asian Americans throughout history. So to make sure that children are learning about that part of history. What are your thoughts on continuing that curriculum mandate? And would you support opening up additional funds for Asian American stories to be taught in schools?
No, I want to focus on the things that are going to make our students more successful in the workforce. Following the Iron Will project in Japan, where the students learn to clean up around each other and they learn how to get along with each other. They're not focused on divisive story tales that they've been told in recent years.
Okay, so I just want to clarify and make sure that I understand you correctly. So what this curriculum mandate would do is it would teach Asian stories and their contributions to America. So whether that's fighting in the war or, just contributions in general that Asian Americans have made to society. So that is what the curriculum mandate was put in place for. So, it is not dividing, but it is informing. So
With
with that,
with me
sure.
with me as governor, our educational system is going to change drastically, and our students are going to become much wiser young Americans, where they can produce immediately with skills that they learn from farming, from trades. Um, there's a lot of exciting things in the future with me running as governor
Sure. Okay.
for the
Thank you.
students.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Um, I want to talk a little bit about the rise in Asian American hate that we see across New Jersey. How do you plan on responding to a rise in bias and hate that Asian American and other groups continue to experience here in New Jersey?
I don't see any of that. I'm like I said, I'm an Italian American. I'm really an American patriot, so I don't see any division uh, with a rise in hate. I see people struggling to pay their bills. I'm going to focus on fixing the problems. Uh, I'm I'm not going to address divides that don't exist in reality.
Okay, thank you. So you talked a little bit about affordability and making sure that the state is accessible to individuals across the state. So I do want to tell you that Asian Americans here in New Jersey, they said that the economy is the number one issue that they care for. So what are your plans to make it easier for residents to live here in New Jersey and to raise their families here in New Jersey as well?
I plan to lower taxes on disabled, veterans, and seniors. I would like to remove the land taxes completely. I want to introduce a lot of renewable energies as piezoelectricity in Tokyo uses on the subway. I want to use heavy water hydro dams like used in Germany. I want to make sure New Jersey has an energy surplus instead of a deficit. Right now, we're working on a 38% deficit. So, lowering the taxes, farming in South Jersey and a lot of the farmlands, I want to incentivize that for the farmers so we have better produce on the shelves. Uh, want to make sure that our infrastructure is being rebuilt properly. I'm a contractor for 20 years. I know that we're not using the best practices that we could use. And I want to go through town by town, brick by brick, all the corruption and hold people accountable that have extorted taxpayers and embezzled taxpayer dollars.
Thank you. And what are your plans for, access to housing? We are at a shortage now of like, I believe it is 200,000 or 250,000 units. What are your plans to expedite the process of making housing units available to people here in New Jersey?
As a contractor, I understand our infrastructure and our housing. So I want to rebuild cities like Trenton, Asbury Park. I want to put more housing in them. I want to make sure that the infrastructure in those cities is adequate for the population. Right now, it's not. We're spreading out and we're neglecting our cities. Our cities are falling in disrepair. I want to use prisoner chain gangs to help restore restore some of the cities, get rid of the graffiti, replace the concrete. I want to eliminate the large population of incarcerated. So I don't want them staring at walls. I want them actually working, and I want to put them in the union after they get out of their term as an inmate.
Okay, thank you for sharing. I want to move on to language access. As you may know, New Jersey has one of the highest numbers of limited English proficient residents. And what that means is that Asian Americans, they have the highest number of limited English proficient residents, and we are very linguistically diverse. So we speak a variety of languages. So last year, Governor Murphy, he signed into law the bipartisan language access law, and that requires vital documents to be translated and interpreted into 7 priority languages here in the AAPI community. The data disaggregation law takes effect this July, and what that would do is help state agencies and researchers to better understand the challenges by these communities to collect more data. Do you support the full implementation of these laws? And if so, how do you prioritize this? So this is for folks that maybe English is not their first language, but they want to have access to these documents to be able to understand it in their language. So your thoughts?
If they're legal citizens of America, if they're legal residents and they've got here legally, I'll promote some type of education for them to understand how to speak English. English is our number one language. I'm going to promote English as the
Oh, he broke up. Okay, you broke up a little bit. So you were saying that you want to promote English as the first language.
Yes, and for patriots, new patriots that got to New Jersey legally, I would like to have some type of education for them so they can learn the necessary English language. Our um, legislation is written in English. Our road signs are written in English. They need to understand English if they're going to stay here in New Jersey.
Okay, appreciate that. Thank you. I know we're running low on time, so I just want to ask you once again, how do you plan on engaging with the Asian American community here in New Jersey and prioritizing some of the issues that they're facing?
Well, I want to be inclusive. I'm not going to separate a specific nationality. If I was going to do that, I'd probably be pushing my own Italian roots. I do like Italian food. Um, but I want to, my goal is to be inclusive and not to segregate. So you won't hear rhetoric from me that separates or disparages any um, minority race. I'm not going to draw attention to a minority and disparage the rest of the state. Um, it's not necessary and it's divisive. I've been a cadet in a military academy that had cadets from all across the world, and they never did that. And it was perfect. We didn't have any kind of problems when it came to race. So we need to support unity.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Just to wrap up with, why don't you tell voters why they should vote for you?
I think it's very vital right now that they vote for me as the next governor of New Jersey to put me in a position uh, to win in a general election because I'm a candidate that's not throwing sound bites out there that can be used against me in the future. And I'm a candidate that is bipartisan at heart. Um, I have a lot of plans once I get to the general election that will bring Democrats back to the center. A lot of strategies that they have walked away from, like supporting unions. Um, I have a farming initiative that will make New Jersey a very powerful state in the nation. And by supporting a lunchbox candidate, a candidate that is of the people, that is unfunded, that is uncompromised,
Great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you for your time. The primary election is on June 10th. Voting by mail has already started, and you can vote early from June 3rd to the 8th. Thank you all so much for watching.